My favorite part was when Kamala Harris shows up and she stink eyes both of them.
Yeah.
She stink eyes Trump and Obama and then sits down and doesn't say hi or shake their hands.
Nice.
And then looks over and sees that Obama and Trump are talking to each other, and she goes like this. She's like,
as they say, only if looks could kill. The viral video captured Harris's subtle glances back at the duo, and as she turned, the cold sigh sparked a flood of speculation.
Yeah.
rolls her eyes, and she's with her husband and her husband.
That's like when Shane was talking to Chappelle or Louis.
Joe Rogan doesn't just roast Kamala Harris. He dismantles her entire political career with precision. He points out her nervous laughter, hollow speeches, recycled buzzwords, and the glaring missteps that have turned the vice president into a walking punchline. Rogan calls out her hypocrisy as a prosecutor, her failures as a leader, and her desperate attempts to appear relatable. What remains is a brutal reminder that Kamala Harris is more brand than substance, and the mask has finally slipped.
I'm sure you saw that lady who was like bragging about buying champagne.
How to buy champagne?
Make fun of the guy selling champagne.
He asked me why I was getting champagne, and I said because I'm going to be toasting Madam President tonight.
Because he wasted his vote on Trump.
I said to him, you do realize you wasted your vote, right?
And I'm buying champagne to toast Madam President. She's gonna win.
Kamala Harris has spent years trying to convince the American people that she's a leader, a visionary, and a fearless fighter for justice. But Joe Rogan doesn't waste time on the carefully polished image. He cuts straight through the staged smiles, nervous laughter, and hollow speeches. To Rogan, Harris isn't a trailblazer. She's the embodiment of political theater. All costume, no character. All soundbite, no substance.
Go ahead and play it. Let's see what it says. So she's probably talking about Trump being on Twitter. Is that what it is?
So she was talking to Jake Tapper. So we'll see
Right.
what this is.
That you can't say that you have one rule for Facebook and you have a different rule for Twitter. The same rule has to apply, which is that there has to be a responsibility that is placed on these social media sites to understand their power. They are directly speaking to millions and millions of people without any level of oversight or regulation. And that has to stop.
Okay, right away.
Yeah.
There's no way to misconstrue that.
What does that mean?
Oversight and regulation for free speech is ridiculous.
Yeah, totally.
Just that alone, there's no way to misconstrue that.
This is a woman who somehow became vice president of the United States without ever making clear what she actually stands for. She speaks as if she's stuck in a high school debate class, reciting lines she memorized 5 minutes before walking on stage. Rogan highlights how Harris has mastered the art of saying nothing while pretending to say something profound. Her speeches are filled with buzzwords that sound like they came from a corporate teamwork seminar. Instead of vision, she delivers word salad. Instead of conviction, nervous chuckles. And instead of clarity, paragraphs that could easily be mistaken for an AI glitch.
Right.
Women come to like they really believe it.
The women in America are making their voices heard. The women are voting in numbers relative to men that are unbelievable. She's won this.
They gaslight people so hard with their filled arenas, all the news coverage on CNN, MSNBC, the polls are showing.
I didn't care.
Polls are showing. It's going to be a They just gas the whole thing.
The absurdity of it all isn't lost on Rogan. He doesn't just mock Harris's words. He highlights the glaring disconnect between the power she holds and the lack of depth she brings to the role. Despite serving as vice president for years, she's better known for her awkward interviews than for any meaningful policy accomplishments. Every time she steps on stage, it feels like America is dragged into a group therapy session where no one learns anything and everyone leaves more confused than before.
I think, honestly, you have to do that now.
And you gave all that you could to support our campaign.
Because, first of all, it's legal. There's no laws against it, which is really crazy, because it's kind of fraud.
Because of your efforts, get this, we raised an historic $1.4 billion from grassroots supporters alone. The most in presidential campaign history.
You can't have fake people vote, but you can have fake people convince you to vote for their candidate, which is really weird.
Who picked Kamala Harris? If it's Obama, if it's Pelosi, that person needs to get fired. Then too, Kamala Harris needs to be fired. Why? Because she chose wrong.
Rogan tears into the way Harris tries to project authority, pointing to her loud, misplaced laugh, like a car alarm going off in a quiet moment. It's not a laugh of joy, but of panic, a reflex to fill the silence when she has nothing meaningful to say. Rogan sees right through it, treating it not just as a bad habit, but as a metaphor for her entire political career. Noise disguising the absence of substance.
But she had an opportunity to come here when she was in Texas, and I literally gave them an open invitation. I said, anytime. I said, if she's done at 10 o'clock, we'll come back here at 10 o'clock. I go, I'll do it at 9 in the morning. I'll do it at 10 p.m. I'll do it at midnight. She's up. She wants to, drink a Red Bull, fucking party on.
Yeah, but I think this idea that you're being a diva is silly because you're offering her the opportunity to do exactly what the other candidate did, right?
Well, she actually reached out when she found out that he was coming on. So their camp reached out to me. So I said, great, I would love to talk to her.
The contradictions don't stop there. Harris built her brand as a tough prosecutor, but once she entered national politics, she tried to reinvent herself as a progressive hero. She boasts about locking people up, then insists she's always believed in second chances. She claims to fight for justice, yet shifts with the political winds like a weather vane on a broken rooftop. Rogan points out that no one really knows what Harris believes, because Harris herself doesn't seem to know. One day she's the crusader against truancy, threatening parents with jail time if their kids miss school, and the next she's preaching compassion and opportunity. It's a constant performance, an identity swap tailored to the audience in front of her. Rogan isn't fooled by her attempts to rebrand as a voice for the people. He sees only calculation and a desperate need to appear relatable. Nothing about her comes across as genuine. When she tries to act casual, she looks stiff. When she aims to inspire, she seems awkward. And when she attempts humor, it's excruciating. Rogan compares watching her to watching a malfunctioning robot struggle to connect with humans. Every gesture rehearsed, every smile forced, and every sentence collapsing under the weight of its own emptiness.
When I was like she could win was when she had that one speech about Donald Trump, like scared to debate her, but he says all these things. But you know what I always heard? If you want to say something, say it to my face. And the whole place went crazy and she was laughing.
I didn't see that.
Oh, it was so good. It was her best speech for sure. She looked young.
She's kind of cute.
She was hot.
Yeah.
Younger. She was younger. She was a smoke show.
She's still all right. She got that thing on her, I bet.
So that...
You know what I'm saying?
I do know what you were saying. That's why it's so crazy.